안녕하세요. 저는 한성대학교 영어회화 동아리 H-LEP 혹은 프랩에서 활동 중인 유환익입니다. 제 옆에 계신 분은 조셉 베너보 교수님이시고요. 1학기는 코로나로 인해서 전반적인 학교 생활에 많은 변화가 있었습니다. 저희 동아리 활동 역시 많은 영향을 받았는데요. 저희 동아리는 주 활동으로 동방에서 동아리방이죠. 그룹 스피킹을 가져왔는데 코로나 비대면 방침으로 인해서 대면 그룹 스피킹을 할 수 없었습니다. 그래서 많은 학교 수업들이 한 것처럼 저희도 줌을 활용해서 화상 통화 방식으로 그룹 스피킹을 진행했었습니다. 물론 조셉 교수님이 가르친 English Lounge Group Speak 프로그램이 줌으로 진행됐다고 하네요. 이 영상은 그 후기에 대해 얘기해 보려고 합니다. Hello, Joseph. Can you briefly introduce yourself first? Like, give us a general idea of who you are.
My name is Joseph. I'm originally from South Africa, but I have been in Korea for about 11 years now.
11 years. Wow.
Yeah. And with Hansung for approximately about 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
So I already know that you work in the English lounge, which is like Hansung's lounge or room for the students who want to participate in some of the programs like English Group Speak, Open Activity, Quiz Show, and English Corner. So, what can you tell us about this English lounge?
The English lounge was originally brought into existence because it was, like most students have lots of practice with like grammar and doing IELTS and TOEFL, but when it comes to speaking, they become there's a bit of a problem there. So this was to give them more real world experience. And just free discussion so that they can practice their fluency.
I actually recommend to every student I encounter to join the English Lounge programs because it is one of the Hansung's strong points. Because like other universities, they don't really have this kind of English programs and a room for them to have a conversation in English. So
I think a lot of other universities kind of have the space, but they don't have permanent teachers manning the lounge as such. So it very quickly kind of disappears. Doesn't perform any useful function.
I was really grateful that you most of the time when I visit the English lounge, you were always there and you were willing to have a conversation with me, have a conference time, which I enjoyed, and it was really awesome. So that's what's making students who are eager to have this conversation in English, without any worries or hesitation. So it's really
that's
good.
The idea. Yeah.
So it's really
that's
good.
The idea. Yeah.
So how did you feel about this spring semester? How did it go in English now?
Well, I mean, it was a bit of an adjustment. I didn't know what to. Well, I kind of expected that everything would move online at the beginning of the semester with Corona and whatever. But I wasn't really. Initially, I wasn't very keen on it. I thought, it's a bit awkward and it's a bit weird. But actually, I'm surprised. Some students really like it because it takes away the barrier of if you're sitting in a group, then some people are worried about what other people are saying or thinking, but if you're online, everyone's kind of a little bit anonymous, and you can speak your thoughts much more freely. So in that way, it's kind of good so some students like that, and some students still like the face-to-face interaction. I must confess, I still prefer the face-to-face interactions, but both are
both have ups and downs. I guess. What I liked about this Zoom group speak classes is I don't have to take my effort to come to the English lounge, and I can actually do it in my room, without having to think about how many hours or minutes I have to spend to get to the English lounge and have a conversation with it. So I think that is a good point, but sadly it is more fun. Group speak is more fun when we get together in the same room. So.
I must agree. I also think so. Okay. But a lot of programs have fallen away. Well, not a lot, but the quiz shows have fallen away because it's difficult to do that kind of group interaction. But hopefully we'll start doing some other stuff in the next semester.
So is it confirmed that you're using Zoom as you like.
I prefer
realize-
using Zoom, yeah. We'll be using Zoom in the lounge. I'm not sure about the rest of the English communication or
Okay.
the university. I know the university uses WebEx.
Yeah, WebEx, which is horrible.
Yeah, I'm not a
Yeah.
fan. No, Zoom is just a nice kind of
platform.
platform that combines
Okay.
the whiteboard and
Mhm.
video sharing. It's much easier than
Mhm.
the other platforms, so I
Yes,
prefer it.
perfectly. Like we can use the whiteboard actually while using Zoom, and we can share the screens. Like whenever we have to watch the some of the pictures, or like when we're googling, and when we're watching videos from YouTube, that is helpful for our English speaking session. So it is really like useful
Yeah, and it
platform
provides
to
a
use.
good record of
Okay.
like the vocab and the phrases that we've used. So often I'll just, as we're talking or whatever, I'll
Mhm.
either remember a phrase or write down the vocab, and
Okay.
then students, I'll upload it to the class page just so
Mhm.
that students have a record of
Yeah.
the vocab that we've learned.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna ask one more question,
Sure.
about your group speak, because this that is one of the major things you do in English now. So, what do you think is like selling point?
The selling point?
Yeah, selling point. Because I gotta say, we have H-LEP as our domain, which is we do pretty much the same thing as English knowledge group speak. We don't get together in this season, but we used to get together in a group of 6 or 7, and we actually share our opinions or debate about certain subjects in English within the students. So, I think one of the good points of that our dongari is that we are all Korean university students, and we have a lot to share, and we have a lot to talk about together. So we build more bond, strong bond within each other, and we can actually become friends with someone we didn't know about. Because if you go to university, even though you take Korean classes, general education classes, but it is really kind of tough to meet other people in different departments. So.
Especially now, because the first year is not divided, you're not divided
Yeah,
up
it's
into
not
majors
divided.
anymore.
Mhm.
And yeah, that is a nice thing about
Okay.
the group speaks in the lounge in general, is that we try and keep people, if we're grouping the students, we'll group them by year and by major, or if not major, by year. So
Okay.
at least they have some kind of relationship with other people from Hansung University, because they're not coming into campus at the
Okay.
moment. And we do tend to favor new students because, they haven't really had any contact with the university. So
Right.
it's kind of a nice way to bind them to the university, I guess.
Yeah.
But the main selling point is just that you get kind of real exposure to English. So
Yes.
we'll talk about news topics or issues, but we often use videos, as you know,
Yeah.
and we also learn phrases or whatever that maybe as a second language speaker you're not familiar with, or you don't
Something
know.
like idioms.
Idioms
something
and
like
phrasal verbs and that kind of stuff. That maybe aren't as familiar to Korean students, because generally my students are very good at
Yeah.
grammar, right?
Yeah, they're
They
good.
can write a sentence,
Mhm.
but when it comes to speaking freely,
Yeah.
it's a problem. But also when it comes to interpreting some
Yeah.
idiomatic expressions, then
Yeah, that's
it's a bit odd, right?
Yeah, that's usually what Korean students who study English usually go through, because they want to say something in English, but they translate their Korean phrases into English, so they have to take their time and process it, and how to say it in correct grammatical order. But I think what's more important is that you have this confidence about yourself, and then you just speak out. Even though you're not grammatically correct, Joseph or other English-speaking teachers, they'll help you out with the correction and intonations or pronunciation, those kind of thing. So don't be afraid to join the English Now group team. It's really a,
everyone's welcome.
yeah.
And I'm nice.
For your record, Joseph Venable over here, he is really knowledgeable about the political like situations or like issues in the society. He's really like interested in those kind of stuff. So if you want to have a debate or like interesting talk about it, you can definitely pick Joseph as your
Yeah,
teacher.
like current issues, like social and political issues are very good. But I mean, that's also a nice thing about group speaks is that I think, especially in Korean society, people don't like to air their opinions because
Yes.
you don't want
100%.
you don't want to affect the relationship with other people. I suppose like a lot of the students feel more comfortable speaking about those opinions in English because maybe it's a different language and you don't have the structure, the hierarchical structure, that kind of stuff. So it is a good place to kind of be exposed to new ideas as well and discuss things and let people know your opinion.
Actually, because I'm guessing, it's probably the first time for everyone to like use Zoom or like online conferencing to take a class or like participate in some of the school programs. It would have been kind of confusing and like awkward, but like I agree with you, they did pretty well. Like thinking about our 동아리, our H-LEP.
You did online as well?
Yeah, we did. We used Zoom actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we used Zoom and like it was pretty much the same structure as English Word Speak.
Yeah.
We prepared each subject for each day. Like we talked about what subjects we want to talk about, and like we decided, there was a one leader in each class, and like he is responsible for like selecting
The
topic and also leading the conversation. Yeah, but I think they did it pretty well. Like I think they did it better than last year. So I'm really satisfied with it. So I'm going to make it more like interesting and like informative for the students who are joining our 동아리 H-LEP, so that they learn something from our 동아리 like activity.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
So,
I mean, students just need more like exposure to speaking English, especially nowadays. I think because the world is going to move into a more kind of online platform. I don't think that English is going to go decrease in use. I think it's going to increase. So students need to be more familiar.
Yeah, if anything is important, the importance of English is going to increase because we're moving into the untech era. We're going to process more information from online, and as you know, about like 80% or like 70% of information in the web is in English.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure, really sure, but like most of the information are English. So are there anything you want to add? You want to say to the students?
No, don't be shy. Like I think a lot of people are intimidated by speaking English. So the English Lounge is meant to be an unintimidating environment.
That is why
relaxed
it's called
environment.
Not the classroom or like, but it is lounge actually, where you can chill and have a conversation like freely in English and enjoy time.
Yeah.
So
everyone's welcome, and we normally take in applications at the beginning of the semester, and either you have a group or we can put you in a group. But everyone's welcome. Sure.
Yeah. So if you're not in a group or like if you're an individual, don't be afraid to come into the English Lounge. You're totally welcome. If you wear a mask and like sanitize your hands, and like you can come in to the English Lounge and like have an interesting conversation with Joseph over here because he's always there. So don't be afraid to join the program. I definitely recommend it. So this interview, this is one thing we're doing in 동아리 because of the on-tech situation. We're worried about like our like 동아리 members because they cannot get together. They have less fun time doing the 동아리 like activities. So like me and my buddy Hwang Ha-jun thought about like this brilliant idea of making online content such as like this interview video. Like, we will be active on promoting some of the interesting programs that's going on in English Lounge and other English-related activities in Hansung University. So stay tuned and like we'll inform you what will happen like in the next semester. So this is actually for you to see this like useful information and like interesting content. So take advantage of it. You're paying for it. Your tuition's going into this like whole 동아리 thing and like English language. So take advantage of it as long as you're a student in Hansung University.
Yeah.
So thank you very
Cool.
much for
Sure.
this interview. It was
Yeah.
really interesting talk with you, and like I hope to see you on another episode of your interview.
Sure.
It's gonna be about. So you already introduced yourself, so it's gonna be more about your culture job in Korea.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
or like your interesting fun facts about your country, South Africa, because like I believe not many Korean students know about like what's really going on in South Africa or like what's like unique culture
Yeah.
in South Africa.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it'll be really interesting content. So
Hmm.
just stay focused, and we'll get to the another episode of this English professor interview. So thank you very much for listening to us. We'll come back later. Bye bye.
Cool.
안녕히 계세요. Bye bye.